Alright, we've arrived at macro play number 1. So, we started out the game with some macro analysis, just where do you want to be in general, right? Instead of actually going for a particular play. Now this one, obviously there's a particular play that happens in Baron, but it's literally you're just autoing the Baron. So it's all about the macro, all about where should people be in general. You could still call it micro. I don't really care where you draw the line. The point is that this is not as play-by-play as like, move over here now, then move over there, then move back, then use your Q, then move over there. It's a little bit less like that, so I'm gonna call that macro for now. Point is, you have 5 champions this game. You have Darius is Juggernaut. You have Nunu the Tankerino, Katarina the weird battle magey, assassin-y, fightery mage. Like, she's really weird, she has some components of everything. And then you have Astral Thresh, which is like, you know, like you have a bit of poke, you have a bit of disengage, a lot of disengage, you have some disrupt, right? You have some catch, you have, you know, you have some catch, you have a little bit of engage, like reliable engage, right? I'm gonna call it R engage, reliable engage. You have just a very mediocre bot lane. Doesn't skill, right? So Thresh. What is disrupt? Disrupt is stalling enemies and threatening you with the zone, right? Disrupt is like when you have a Thresh hook, which is usually a catch. If someone's over here and they threaten to walk in here, there's a moment where if you throw the hook, they're forced to walk back in here. Now that is disrupt, right? And when they're forced to walk through you, Thresh will flay, right? Within a certain range. That is disrupt, right? They will slow you, they will make sure you don't reach your destination. And disrupt can be combined with a pick champion like Katarina to actually create a potent threat where they just are permanently zoned off. So disrupt combined with some damage is a zonal threat, right? Pure disrupt from Thresh itself is not really anything but a slowdown. So you have to understand the different sources of utility from disrupt. I'm not going to draw them out in text. But the point is here that we can use this information to establish how a Baron should be played by all the participants. Obviously, I'm not just randomly saying this stuff. What does a Nunu do, right? So Nunu does a Q every 6 seconds around. So let's say you do 1,000 damage every 6 seconds or 5 seconds, right? So that's 1k in 5 seconds. Baron has around 14k, which is around 14 times 5 seconds, which means it takes you 70 seconds to do a Baron. Now that is way too long. You need to be able to do it before what? What are your conditions? This is an evaluation, so establishing this is fundamental, that you do this. What actually is your answer is going to be game knowledge dependent, right? That's going to be dependent on how well you evaluate stuff. Boom. So kill just respawn. How long does it take to reach the center of the map? Takes around 20 seconds, 15 seconds, right? So with disruption, let's say it's 15 plus potentially up to 10 seconds, right? Of disruption equals 25. Now, on your own, this shit is going to take forever, right? It's going to take 70 seconds. So you need another person here, like Katarina, that can deal 1k in 5 seconds, and then it's still not going to work out unless you have a zonal threat with the Katarina and Thresh. So you have to understand here that this essentially you know beforehand when kill is gonna arrive here. It's completely telegraphed. You know who can zone her off. You know if she's gonna have a zonal threat. And the reality is a level 16 kill. This is game knowledge right here. Level 16 plus kill, right? At what's the game timer here? At 31 minutes. So she has like 3+ items, right? Is going to pound every single person here, right? So, you can do this. That's the conclusion. Conclusion, cannot do this, right? Don't do Baron. The only way you're gonna even try is if Thresh zones him off. Thresh should never be on the Baron. What's Thresh gonna do on Baron? How much damage does he do? Let's say he does 200 damage. I think that's already being generous in 5 seconds. So a Baron of 14k is gonna take him 7 times this, 70 times 5 seconds. So it's gonna take him 350 seconds to clear this. Or another way of saying it, just to get 10% off this Baron is gonna take him over half a minute, right? So in the 35 seconds of Thresh autoing this Baron and Eing and auto and Q and using literally all this shit just for damage, he's not gonna do anything. He's gonna do 10% tops on the 40-second Baron buff. That's atrocious. What does he do when he goes in here and stalls people for 5 seconds? That's 1k. How long does Thresh take to generate that amount of value for your team while being on the Baron? That's gonna take him 40 seconds, right? So, do you see the difference here? If you convert values to one another, how much does the Disrupt give your team in terms of damage? How much does the Thresh on the Baron give you in terms of damage? It's not even close. It's not in the same ball. It's magnitudes apart. There's no reason for Thresh. You can ping assistance on this brush, right? And ask people to zone here. Ping the Thresh anonymously. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Wait for a few seconds. Open up tab, right? Open up tab and ping kill, right? That's how you do this. That's how you try and communicate to this guy. Communication is very important. You try and communicate him to move over here. That's what you're trying to do and zone off this kill. That's what you're trying to establish here in this Baron. If you even remotely thought you could do it, I don't think it's gonna make the difference at all. But to me, it's not about can you do the Baron. It's how do you pick the best plan. Where if you apply that in a game and you find out you can't do the Baron, you will know what to do. You will know. Oh, I just don't have the damage. Katarina does this much, I do this much, Thresh slows him down. If you know where everyone is supposed to be, and can direct people to where they need to be, then the evaluations become much easier because you know what's going to happen. You know where Katarina is going to be, you know where Thresh is going to be, you know where Kill is going to come in. Everything becomes relatively deterministic, which makes it way easier to visualize whether you can do something or not. Alright. So, Kill, when you said at the start, I mean, maybe we get outskilled a little bit. I mean, it's not too bad. I'm playing to save my laners. Right? How many turrets did Ezreal, how much did Ezreal do? How much of a turret demolition has he been? How many turrets has he been sieging? Has he gotten this turret? Yeah, eventually. There's this turret. These are the only turrets that you got in 30 minutes of gameplay. You know what happens when you have a Tristana, right? You know what happens when you have Darius plus Nunu demolish, right? My god, this is getting messy. Anyway, the point is, Darius and Nunu have way more potential because what's happening with the Darius Nunu play is you can get Herald and use that to leverage that on the other sides of the map. And this is not a coincidence, right? You have to ask yourself, how do, like, Riot has made this game to snowball, right? So that if you successfully get 10 kills on a Darius, right? The game has been made to give you options to convert that onto all 3 lanes. That is what the game has been designed to do, because the game is not about picking one person and just getting him a billion resources. Funneling is not what Riot wants. Whenever funneling pops up, they want to nerf it. That's not how they want the game to be played. They want this to be a game of all 5 players, like being able to help one another, right? They want interactions between the players, and they sometimes fail to actually establish that. But the point is that right now, Herald is the way they implemented that. They were like, well, top lane has no impact whatsoever early game, and they've made Herald to compensate for that. If you understand that, you realize that Kill wants a skill, so you screw her over. Darius has high impact in early game and gives you an option to eventually impact bot lane. And bot lane is super safe, super pokey, disengage, Thresh Ezreal, right? Independent. Thresh can roam top lane even, like, and just let Ezreal farm. So that is why you want to play like that. And it all comes down to this Baron where Kill is just massive. You just didn't deny her at all. That's it for this one.